record, worst in the East, second worst in the NBA. Assistant J.B. Bickerstaff will take over as head coach. College basketball, 9 ranked teams in action, including 6 top 10 teams. One of them that lost, that was number 9 Penn State, falling to Illinois 62-56. Number 1 Baylor has won 23 in a row after beating Oklahoma 65-54. Wins for number 5 Dayton, number 7 Maryland, number 8 Florida State, and number 10 Kentucky. I'm Eddie Garcia.
K105 weather is brought to you by the 3 Grayson County locations of the Sicilian Bank.
Well, if you can avoid that breeze this afternoon, it's not too bad of a day with sunshine around, a high temperature 47 degrees. We've had worse days, that's for sure. Tonight, clouds move back in, low temperature around 30. Tomorrow, partly to mostly cloudy sky. Could even see a few snow flurries tomorrow. High temperature only 38. On the Way 3 News Storm Tracker team, I'm meteorologist Brian Good.
Is In the Know for Wednesday, February 19th, the 50th day of 2020. There are 316 days left in the year. Good morning, MB, guiding you through In the Know at K105. On Litchfield's Country Station, 103.9 The Moose, live online at K105.com, via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud or iTunes podcast, on Facebook Watch, on YouTube Live, on Periscope, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we are going to update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. The president goes on a clemency spree yesterday. We'll tell you about that. An update on Ryan Newman after the Daytona 500. Litchfield City Council meets this week. Some decisions they made. We'll tell you about that. An escaped inmate. We'll tell you about an armed robbery and a foiled robbery that is in a story that we're calling Foul Play. That your chance to win, and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Are you liking the sunshine?
I am.
It's different, right?
It's
it
nice.
Seems like when was you and I saw a little sunshine on Saturday, which was
That's
nice.
true. Mm-hmm.
But here around these parts, the sunshine's been hard to find. The birds are even chirping kind of on a morning like this. Do you like listening to chirping birds?
Not necessarily. It depends on time of day.
Trees, ocean waves crashing, they all stimulate the body and produce feel-good hormones. Did you know that?
Yeah.
The problem with the birds around our house is they tend to want to get up before us.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like.
Don't wake me up.
We need someone on staff to figure out a way to put the muzzles on the birds until we decide to wake up.
I agree.
Agree? All right,
Yeah.
let's work together to come up with a solution for that. She's the pride of Pumpkin Center, the heiress to the great mini burger fortune. She's Vera Wang's arch nemesis, and the professional bargain hunter's woman of the year. She's Misty Embry Thomas. Hey. How's Misty?
I'm great, but I got to tell you all about something that happened to me this morning.
Uh-oh. Okay.
So when I pulled in, actually, I'm sorry, yesterday morning, when I pulled in and showed my lights in the parking lot,
Yeah.
you're talking about the birds chirping,
Uh-huh.
there was something about the size of a small show pony, but had the tail of a rat run around the side of the building. I don't know what the thing is, but it was not chirping, and I moved my car closer to the sidewalk and got out right at the front
It's a
door.
beaver.
Did it make weird noises like...
With a rat's tail? No, it didn't have the tail of a beaver.
Maybe it
I
was a
couldn't hear
beaver that
it.
had lost its tail in an industrial accident.
I'm telling you, I can tell you the sound I made was, yeah!
That's the sound?
Yes. I was like, what is that? It's huge.
So this is not the first time I've heard this.
Really?
So, no, like if it had been a beaver or a raccoon, but it was way too big to be a possum, or Or it's a Ninja Turtle possum.
Yeah.
Like it's been drinking toxic
We're
sewage.
on a bit of a wildlife reserve here,
We
so
really
there's no
are.
time. I mean, there's
My
no telling
goodness.
what you're gonna find.
I would welcome the chirping birds. Because if I'm ever carried away,
It's
look
a-
for the small show pony with the rat's tail.
It's an up and coming artist looking for some new airplay. His name is Justin Beaver.
Yeah,
I don't.
that's why he's hanging out at the radio station.
The germiest thing in a doctor's office.
Money. It's everywhere.
Nobody spends money at the doctor.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Don't you know anything? The clipboard.
Oh, yeah.
The
That's
clipboard pen, specifically to use to sign paperwork,
use my own pen.
is the germiest thing. It has over 46,000 times more germs than an average toilet seat.
Oh, come on now.
I've noticed how many people will you sign this? And I reach into my pocket and pull out my own pen. They say, "Oh, you have your own." Like,
Yeah, I do.
don't most people? Apparently not.
If you don't test me sick today, I will be tomorrow if I use your pen, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's where they get you. If we can just get you in the office, we can get you sick,
Get you sick,
with
you'll
our
come back
pen.
again.
And then
We're going to tell you your test was negative, so you'll
So
come
I-
back again if you feel worse.
so it's a profit deal. Okay.
We watched that over the weekend.
Got it. It'll be a cool day with a high in the 40s. A southern system will move a bit closer to tonight with a slight increase in cloud cover. Temperatures in the upper 20s tonight, but mostly sunny today, 47. We'll see mostly cloudy tomorrow and 38, and then we'll see clearing and cold tomorrow night. It'll be cold to start your day on Friday, but Saturday and Sunday looking a little bit better, something back into the 50s. So we should be okay. Might want to check your bank account. You might have a deposit of clemency in there after yesterday. The president gave clemency and pardons to a whole bunch of people. Let's hope they're not as controversial for him as they were for Matt Bevin.
Good grief.
Rob
Yep.
Blagojevich.
Yep, that's it.
Blagojevich.
Just start with a G and sneeze, and you got it.
Former governor of Illinois who went to prison for trying to auction off Barack Obama's Illinois Senate seat, representing Illinois in the U.S. Senate. He also pardoned Michael Milken. He has pardoned former NYPD Commissioner Bernie Carrick. And then Blagojevich, by the way, was on Celebrity Apprentice with Trump. He was one of the contestants. And then who else did he have? Edward DeBartolo Jr., the former owner of the San Francisco 49ers, also in that group of...
Did he give reasons why, or did he just like go through and go? Set him free, let him go.
They
set him
had
free.
paid bigly prices for they had paid bigly prices for their crimes, and
I mean, can I auction off our Senate seat?
Time to set them free.
I need some money.
Who's are you trying to auction?
Who's ever? We'll start with Mitch McConnell's and see how he feels about that.
Well,
See what Amy McGrath
that
will
one will
pay
be a
for
little
it.
pricey, I think. I saw a headline this morning that Ryan Newman is awake and responding in a Daytona hospital after the tragic accident that happened on Monday night. It's weird to say the Daytona 500 ended on Monday night,
Right.
but it pretty much was Monday night by the time that it happened. And so that's good to hear. It sounded like we knew yesterday that there weren't life-threatening injuries. It sounded. But in the aftermath, you kind of looking at what happened and that bump drafting that they do, there is a little margin for error. Matter of a few inches is the difference between it working successfully and total chaos. Right. I also read this morning that I saw this morning that they're introducing apparently a new NASCAR next year that's designed to be even safer. But the fear is that when they create this car, it's only going to cause them to bunch up more than they already are. That's one of the problems with restrictor plate racing right now is there's not any separation between the cars, and they operate in a too little real estate. And when you have the least little bit of contact at 200 miles an hour, it wipes out 20 people from the field. And so I don't know. Maybe the super speed. I don't know what they should do.
I don't understand why the engineering would make it would potentially cause more bunching up.
I guess the restrictor plate becomes even more restrictive, I suppose. I'm not entirely sure, but they're constantly toying with that stuff. But anyway, it'll be interesting to hear when Ryan Newman is finally able to speak to people, to speak to the media. It'll be interesting to hear his accounting of what happened. Litchfield City Council met this week and have agreed to allow the Litchfield Fire Department to apply for a grant for a new ladder truck. Chief Tim Duval had requested of the council, and they unanimously approved, allowing the chief to apply for a Homeland Security grant in the amount of $850,000 to replace the department's aging ladder truck, which recently had failed an inspection. The city would be responsible for 5% of the $850,000 cost. It's around $42,000. And that amount would be taken from the voluntary fire and rescue dues that the LFD receives each year, and will help to pay that. They appointed Greg Bernard to the Litchfield Utilities Commission, replacing Dot McCall, who had been a longtime member of the commission, and then gave an update on the new City Hall LPD building, that they have decided to direct pay the cost of some materials to the building. The city, of course, is tax exempt on those items, and so if they're direct paying them, then my understanding is it would be a savings of about $46,000, and still thinking that come August, the $2.7 million project will be complete.
I'm excited to see it now that now that we're moving forward. I'm excited to see it finished, and
They've made a lot of progress in the
have.
last couple of weeks.
they've done a lot of tearing down.
When you
See them rolled back, we'll be excited.
We'll call it progress.
Progress. We're moving forward,
Sometimes
even though it feels
doesn't look
backwards.
like progress,
Right.
but it probably is in the name of progress. I will also encourage you that when you see it every day, you notice small things. If you go about 4 days and don't see it, then you go, "Whoa,
Whoa.
that's
Isn't there a door there?
right."
What happened?
Sure. I think today they're busy putting the hot tub on the roof. I think that's what they were
Did
going
they
to spend today
downsize?
doing.
I thought that's where our indoor pool was going to go that we were talking, but maybe
No,
YMCA
they
on the
they
second
repurposed
story.
that. It's a hot tub and a sauna.
Oh, swim team in the future.
State police looking for an inmate who escaped from the Hart County Jail. State police said yesterday afternoon, about 2:40, they were notified that 30-year-old Darren Wren of Cave City had escaped from the jail on Whitman Lane in Munfordville. He stands 5'9", weighs 135, brown hair, hazel eyes. Last seen wearing blue jeans and a white hooded sweatshirt. If you see someone matching the description of Eminem, let state police know.
Wish's version of Eminem.
State police are investigating the armed robbery of Z-Mart that occurred Saturday morning at about 4:55. They said the suspect, standing between 5'5" and 5'2" entered the store on 259 South and demanded cash while brandishing a firearm. The suspect was wearing black clothing, a black mask, and gloves. Similarities between that and a robbery in Annetta in the last couple of months. If you have information on either robbery, you're asked to contact the state police. Certainly wondering if there's a connection between
Well,
those
it
two.
looks like a Stay Puft marshmallow been roasted. Yeah, like
Interesting.
the Stay Puft marshmallow.
Yeah, interesting
like
assessment. I didn't
there's-
see that.
Who's ever wearing that put on like 17 layers? They're probably 130 pounds.
Joey
But they're
Tribbiani.
But they're trying to make it look like they weigh 400
Joey
pounds.
Tribbiani
right?
with all Chandler's clothes. No, all of Joey's
Trying to
clothes
get on the plane.
Yeah, so he doesn't have to check a bag. A daytime burn ban is now in effect in Kentucky. The Kentucky Division of Forestry, the entity that imposes the burn ban, says the ban is in effect as we head toward the spring forest fire hazard season. It began on Saturday, runs through April 30th. During the ban, burning is not permitted between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. And you can read about it on K105.com. Also, some other advice. Don't leave your fires unattended, and don't use accelerant to light fires. Isn't that what I heard you say earlier today? Don't be pouring gasoline on a fire is what they're...
No kerosene needed.
The
No,
Kentucky
stop.
Senate is delaying action that takes away a governor's power to distribute road funds. The measure provides for a transportation board with nominations by the Kentucky League of Cities, the Kentucky Association of Counties, and the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce. Governor Beshear opposes the measure, saying we are establishing a good tone here in Frankfort, one where we work together and we come together to find common ground. He says it's a bill that would strip the authority of me, a new governor, of the same authority that every other past governor, including Governors Fletcher and Bevin, used. Well, why is he only mentioning the Republican governors? Well, one of the reasons that I would point out to you, Governor Beshear, is that you're not naming the 40-something other governors that are on your side of the political equation. But the GOP is saying, if you go back and follow this bill was filed on Election Day. The bill was filed when pollsters said that Matt Bevin was going to win. So the legislature is trying to make a case, whether it's true or not, I don't know, but I'm willing to listen to their argument, that says we were going to attempt to do this no matter who won the governor's race, and here's why. They say it's because Matt Bevin sat on 3.5 years worth of discretionary funds and spent them all in his reelection year. All right, pretty common, not entirely unheard of. You know, over the years, you'd be able to see on these 4-year cycles, a lot of road tile gets bought and installed in various gravel projects, right? It just kind of happens. But the legislature is saying, we don't want these funds to be weaponized. We don't want them to be a political tool that you use when it is in your total best interest to do so. On the other side, I would say, then change the name. Let's don't call them discretionary funds, because discretion means it's up to the governor. It's the governor's discretion to use them to his or her credit or to their peril. If they sit on them and wait, then you alienate some people by saying, well, you haven't done anything for us for 3.5 years, but now suddenly you're here when you need me to vote for you. So I guess I'm okay with the transportation board, but Governor Beshear is saying, well, who's in charge of that board? Like who's accountable? You're likely to have people, he said, if it's from industry or Chamber of Commerce, people who would be more likely to have conflict of interest. Governor Beshear says that governors, him or her, suffer the benefit and the blame of when the road fund or the discretionary funds don't get used properly. So I can see both sides. If it's true that this bill was filed on Election Day and the intentions were pure, that it was an attempt to neutralize. I don't like the State Board of Education being politicized. I don't like the transportation dollars being politicized. Right. If that's true, then I think I would entertain the idea of a transportation board to make some of these decisions. Now, it looks like if you said, okay, well, we waited till the day after the election to file this bill, then it could be read as the GOP, the leaders of the GOP, saying, we don't want to allow Andy Beshear to be able to sit on discretionary funds for 4 years and then use them as part of his reelection campaign. So one difference that I think everyone should be aware of, including Governor Beshear, since he's shoving back at this, when he talks about Bevin and Fletcher, like you got to go all the way back now to Fletcher as the other example you want to use. Fletcher did not have a supermajority of legislators, right? But all the Democratic governors that he's not mentioning had majority legislatures until him.
Here's my take on it. Why is this particular entity done differently than all the other platforms in our government? The Board of Education.
It's pork barrel politics. I mean, it's just.
But that's what I'm saying. So why did we decide to do this one different? All of it should have a board. All of it should have more than one person making the decision. Mm-hmm. So I don't know who decided to do this differently. It's the same thing as the pardons. Who decided to give the governor that kind of authority? Remove that. That no governor should have that much power.
Have you seen the story entitled "Foul Play"? Mm-mm. A masked man. I think we have some video for you. We may have some video. You can find it online if we don't have it for you. A masked man attempted to rob a Kentucky kitchen joint at gunpoint, wound up fleeing the restaurant empty-handed when 2 married police officers on a date night chased him from the scene. All right, if you're watching, you see this guy in the restaurant, right, demanding from the cashier. Mm-hmm. He's got a mask on. He's got a gun in his hoodie, and so he's waiting for her to take care of the register. EPD officer Nicole McCowan and her husband, Detective Chase McCowan, were off duty and eating Saturday night when the man tried to rob a Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers restaurant in Louisville. All right, in just a moment, if you're watching, you'll see the camera angle will cut to the 2 officers. There they are in far away. They see what's happening, and they are off duty, but brandish their weapons.
I see her. Yeah, I saw her grab her gun.
And they chase this guy out of the restaurant. Now watch him. He sees them,
Oh,
and he takes off. Back to the trailer park I go, he says. Well, he looks like Eminem.
8 Mile. He said it back to
He
8
is
Mile.
exactly. He is looking for. Okay, couple things. He was apprehended later.
Okay.
Who knocks over a chicken restaurant?
That's what I'm like.
Right?
I don't think the
How
chicken
hungry are you?
the chicken fingers aren't caviar. They're 99 cents for a box of 22.
Sure, but you could tell he wasn't asking for food. He was asking for cash.
But I'm saying when they're that cheap, they're not profiting. It's not a profit deal.
That's right. There's not a
Just
huge amount of
sustaining.
cash in this restaurant.
No.
Especially in the register. So it was I guess an easy score. 30-year-old Justin Carter entered the restaurant wearing a mask, flashed a gun. He was later apprehended. But so why did you notice the restaurant was empty? Like they were the only two. The officers from the Elizabethtown Police Department seemingly were the only two patrons that were there. They were there because that's where they had their first date.
Aww.
And they had gone back there to celebrate the holiday and were having dinner together. And here they are. And so they see him come in. And they were talking about it in a press conference yesterday. And she said, is he doing what I think he's doing? And it's like, well, it's flu season. Maybe he's wearing a mask because of that. And then they say they saw the cashier put her hands up like this. And so he says he told her, he dialed 911 on his phone and said, here, you dial 911. And she said, no, I'm going with you. And that's when they both pulled out their service weapons
Yeah.
and then went and chased him out. So it's a
at
neat
the
thing.
beginning of the video, I thought he's being cautious because of coronavirus. You were asking for a blue suit yesterday. Apparently, he got the mask, but he didn't get the pants because he's still in shorts.
I don't think the shorts and the hoodie are part of the coronavirus
I don't think
suit,
it is
but
either.
But they could be. Syracuse, so good work to those officers.
Yeah,
It's a
that's a
neat
great
story.
story.
I expect
it
it
is
to
neat.
probably get picked up nationally. Syracuse will face a tough test in number 11 Louisville tonight. The Cards will be looking to change the outcome that they've suffered the last couple of weeks. The Cats went down to Baton Rouge and got a victory last night. Emmanuel Quickly led the number 10 Kentucky Wildcats past LSU 79-76. The Cats now have a 2-game lead in the SEC. They played the final, I think, 7.5 minutes or so without Ashton Hagans, who has at least a bruise or a contusion in his thigh. So the Cats had a pretty commanding lead for a while, and then without Hagans, they struggled, but they did escape with a win. In boys basketball last night, Owensboro Catholic, Breck County lost, Hancock County and Muhlenberg County won, Meade County fell. In girls action, Breck County lost at Henderson County 66-44 was the final. And if your students ever come home from school and say, we were part of a plumbing engineering project, don't automatically discount what they're telling you. Some students in Texas have helped the Texas Rangers break in their new Globe Life Field. They have a new stadium that they're opening this year, and the people who constructed the stadium needed to test the plumbing infrastructure. So they recruited 300 school kids for a field trip so they could all flush the toilets at the same time to make sure that the plumbing infrastructure was capable of handling the demand before they opened the field to the public here in a couple of weeks. So, there are many different things that you can learn at school, including
I like
a
it.
super flush event.
But what happens if it didn't support it? What
Right.
would have been with the whole thing had caved in?
They have to start from scratch with a new stadium. Yeah, that's how it works.
Do over.
We got to get to a break. We'll come back. Plenty more on the way. You're on In the Know.
No matter the season, the weather can have a huge impact on your energy bills.
Looks like it's gonna be a scorcher, folks.
But at KU, we're empowering you to save with lots of quick, easy tips. If your heater AC is on, make sure your exterior doors are shut tight. When it's hot outside, close your curtains or blinds to block the sun's heat. And open them in the winter to let the sun's heat warm your home.
Find more great ways to save at lge-ku.com/tips.
Afternoon tea, milady?
Sure. Why are you wearing a tuxedo?
Because we're rich now. Our tax return has arrived. Let's take a gander, shall we? Oh. Well, that was fun while it lasted.
Well, at least with the latest deals from Bluegrass Cellular, we can feel like we're rich. Smartphones are going for as low as $1 per month.
$1 per month?
Yeah, and select tablets are just $5 per month.
With these deals, we can score a wealth of new tech and still have money left over for, rich people stuff.
Yeah, rich people stuff. So, should we head over to Bluegrass Cellular for $1 per month smartphones?
We shall, but first I need to return this tea set to the kid next door. Excuse me.
Restrictions apply. Offers available in-store or online. Bluegrass Cellular. Your community, expanded.
It's time to shake things up at breakfast with chicken. Sure, you could have the same old. Or you could bite into the sweet taste of maple in griddle cakes and a crispy McChicken filet, the Chicken McGriddles. Or the McChicken biscuit, a perfectly baked buttermilk biscuit brushed with real butter with the same flavorful chicken filet. Get 2 of the same or 1 of each for $3 and add any size Coke for $1. Prices and participation may vary. Single item at regular price cannot be combined with combo meal.
At Litchfield Pediatrics, we don't just love our community, we love yours too. Serving surrounding counties from Warren to Hardin, our growing network of physicians and professionally trained staff provide the best in pediatric care. Now offering new online appointment requests, available 24/7 and can be accessed by visiting our Facebook page. Give us a call at 270-259-5641 or stop by our new facility located at 901 Wallace Avenue. Litchfield Pediatrics, providing the best in pediatric care.
Today, successful small businesses are lean, portable, and focused. If you're running your own business, you need to stay in tune to your customers, vendors, and employees. That doesn't leave much time for processing payroll and reporting, much less the overall performance of your business. The firm of Buckles, Travis, and Hart has a full offering of services for small businesses. Payroll processing, tax liability, unemployment, and financial reporting, just to name a few. Think of them like a built-in business manager, but they don't get sick and they don't ask for time off. Call or contact today to help get your business focused across the board. Buckles, Travis, and Hart. 270-259-5604. GraysonCPAs.com.
It's a great time of year to enroll your kids in gymnastics classes at Twin Lakes Gymnastics. Classes are offered for all ages and all skill levels. Twin Lakes Gymnastics is also the perfect place to host your next birthday party. Rent the entire gym for 2 hours for only $125. With an in-ground trampoline and foam block pit, your child and their friends are sure to have the best birthday ever. Call Jennifer at 270-589-1444 or visit TwinLakesGymnastics.com, located by the Clarkson Community Ballpark.
Hello, I'm Kevin Henderson, Grayson County Judge Executive. You don't need to be an inventor, a scientist, or a judge executive to shape the future of your community. You just need to be someone who cares about your community. By being counted in the 2020 census, you will help inform funding for local school programs, emergency services, and roads in our community. We all count. Shape your future. Start here. Visit 2020census.gov.
1, 2, 3, 4. Get up, get on up, get up, get on up. Stay on the scene, get on up. The sex machine, get on up, get up, get on up, get up, get on up. Stay on the scene, get on up. The sex machine, get on up.
Today is Chocolate Mint Day.
Okay.
Have an Andes Mint. Celebrate today.
I do love those.
I love Andes Mints. They always send them to us in our Tootsie Roll boxes.
Yeah, my dad is a big
you
fan
eat them all.
of
I try.
Andes Mints.
I try to eat them for you all, even though they come in.
Lashes Day today. Celebrating eyelashes. To make
Big
your
fan of
eyes
those.
make your eyes pop.
I've not gotten into those fake ones, though, and the girls that do that, like they permanently have them put on or whatever.
Right.
Sometimes you all get a little wild with those. They look more like fingers coming out of your eyes.
Not permanently.
Like spider
but
legs.
For events, I've done them
Yeah,
occasionally.
now I've done fake lashes. I'm talking about, have you seen the ones they look like they're so much, they're like, so when they open their eyes, it grabs their bangs when they, what's your bangs and what are your lashes? I'm confused.
Or if you get on a roller coaster, they've got drag. you take flight.
Yeah. You know it's true.
They're so big you get lift.
I've got a friend who lives in another state. When I see her pictures, I'm like, that's too much.
Got
like,
tangled in my bangs.
You got them in your bangs again.
That's funny.
Like
So-
when it falls off and you think it's a spider on the floor,
goodness, yeah.
right? Like, no, it's lashes.
It's also Tug of War Day today.
I never liked that game.
Nor did I.
So I've never been a huge fan of Tug of War.
I was never strong enough to win, and then it just
No.
rope burn on your hands.
Yeah.
I never liked that at
who
school.
wants to end up in the mud hole? Not me.
Well, I always did. That's probably why I didn't like it.
3 weeks away is the springtime change. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
March 8th. we will
spring forward.
We will set our clocks forward. Remember that hour we found back in the fall? Got to give it back. And adjusting to the new sleep schedule will be somewhat of a challenge, but it'll be nice to have longer afternoons. Daylight saving time is to blame for an increase in car accidents and heart attacks. So they say this both ways. You know, when they say, well, we changed time the other way and there's more heart attacks and there's more time change and there's more car crashes. Yeah, okay. And then same thing happens in the spring. So I guess it's just the disruption.
Do the heart attacks cause the car crashes?
No. Here's what I think.
Two separate events.
Yeah, more people driving at night or in the dark that shouldn't be or whatever it might be. I would like to know if you can draw a line. Let's say that you relocate to another time zone. And you get in a car and you drive in a different time zone for a week. Are you more likely to have a car crash because you've changed time zones? Or is it the actual time change that's seasonal? You see what I'm saying? Because if a time change of an hour can increase the chances of a car crash, then it seems to be that it would be your chances of getting in a car crash would increase if you drive a car in another time zone.
So half of us that drive to Elizabethtown to work every day, they're increasing their chance every time they cross the border. Right? Like,
well,
is that what you're saying?
Not in this particular case, because if you do it every day, then your body's still on the same. Your body is still on the same clock cycle, every day. But I'm thinking if you suddenly go into an area where you don't normally do it, and now you're suddenly an hour off.
This conversation is more confusing and harder than my brain wants to work right now.
I'm calling crap.
Oh no, I've gone cross-eyed.
Right, that's how I feel. I feel like I'm logged on to a class.
If you have, so the spring is on the way, and if you have a spring or upcoming trip to Walt Disney World this year, Cinderella's Castle is getting an upgrade. Oh? Chip and Joanna have finally shown up.
What? You lap in the castle?
Gonna put in a farmhouse sink, a barn door.
Praise God.
And some shiplap.
Some shiplap in the castle. Cinderella's made it to
No.
Waco.
Cindy's Place is getting a bold update timed with the 70th anniversary of the animated classics release in 1950. And if you're watching, you can see the concept art on the right-hand side.
I like it. Yeah.
Of course, there's a lot of construction going on at Disney right now. They are getting ready for, we're about to turn 50.
I'm 50.
So in 2021, the Magic Kingdom and I are going to turn 50. So they're getting ready for the big celebration. If you go to Epcot right now, you won't recognize it if you go in from the normal entrance. And then I guess what I'm curious to know is they say that Cindy's upgrade will happen throughout the course of the year. It makes me wonder how much of the experience of Cinderella's Castle is going to be obscured this year while they do the upgrade. They do a lot of things at night, but I don't think this is one of them. But sometimes what they will do is, not beyond Disney, to go in and put scaffolding around the castle and then put a cover over the scaffolding over the entire castle that is just a picture of the castle.
Yeah.
The way that it is, and then they will unveil it. But I don't want to poo-poo the idea of the upgrade, but I kind of like the color scheme the way that it is now.
The new one looks nice. I think I like the new one
It looks
better.
more like Sleeping Beauty's castle
Oh, well, I've not had to compare the two
at
side by
Disneyland.
side.
It's got more of that pink in it, and it's just not. Oh, good news. Shamrock Shake at McDonald's is out today. It returns nationwide today. So you don't have to wait until March. You don't have to wait until St. Patrick's Day.
Does it taste minty or green or anything? What's the flavor? What's a shamrock taste like? Someone tell me.
No idea.
It's vanilla soft serve blended with minty flavor and topped with whipped topping. Interestingly enough, the Shamrock Shake is 50 years old at McDonald's. We were talking about how long Big Macs and Filet-O-Fish have been around.
Yeah.
The Shamrock Shake
That really
has been around
surprises
50
me.
years.
I would have said maybe 5 or 6 years.
Mm-hmm. Oreo's new Easter egg decorating kit is out. It's your new pre-Easter snacktivity.
Oh, snacktivities.
I thought that was pretty neat.
Goodness.
So you got egg-shaped Oreos And you can get sparkles and sprinkles and et cetera, and you can decorate them. I'm going with I couldn't make it look like the box.
I'm going, I don't really care. I'm just going to eat them.
I mean, someone who did the ones for the box looked very
that's
good,
fun. Yeah.
right? It's like, wow,
Yeah.
that's really neat. I don't think mine would look that nice.
No, I'm going to go probably. You're right.
Just going to go out on a limb and suggest the Fat Tuesday is 2 weeks from yesterday. So 2 weeks from today is Ash Wednesday, just in time for Mardi Gras. Fat Tuesday, time for indulgence. The Sprinkles Cupcakes have introduced a limited edition Mardi Gras influenced Bananas Foster flavor.
Yum.
Caramelized banana, infused rum sauce, filled banana cake, topped with vanilla butter, cream frosting, and finished with Mardi Gras themed sprinkles.
You can keep the sprinkles. I'm not a sprinkle lover, but the rest of that sounds delicious.
They will be available now through Sunday, March 1st, and available both in-store and for delivery.
Yum.
Okay.
Yeah, gross.
Who's making those?
Sprinkles Cupcakes.
I don't know who Sprinkles Cupcakes is.
Nor do I.
Hostess, Little Debbie, somebody give me something I know.
Nor do I. And in this week's edition, sometimes, as you know, from time to time on the show, we run across a story where the headline will suffice.
Yeah.
The headline
that's
may
what I
not tell you everything that you want to know, but it tells you everything that you need to know.
Okay.
And in fact, when we do these, they're really designed to let your mind do what your mind enjoys doing.
I am quite creative.
You know, if I say something about going to the beach, my beach just popped into my mind.
I
Your
smell
beach just
sea
popped
salt,
into your
right?
mind.
Mhm.
They're not the same beach, right? They don't
Right.
look the same. They're not the same place. So that's why I like to just focus on the headline and let you do you. Are you ready? I take you to Sandusky, Ohio.
Wow.
And the headline says this: Ohio woman in unicorn onesie arrested for throwing beer on bus driver. Doesn't it really tell you everything you need to know?
Stay sober, people.
Ohio woman in unicorn onesie arrested for throwing beer on bus driver.
Why I don't drink, I'm afraid I would go and put on a unicorn onesie.
You're assuming she was drunk. She might have just been holding somebody's beer.
I don't think it's a far leap.
We got to get to a break. Today's water cooler question. Your chance to win coming up here on In the Know.
Hey, for visiting teams, the trip to the home court of the Big Blue usually ends in disaster. But for every disaster that happens off the court or field, call on the fire, water, cleanup, and restoration specialists at 1-800-SERVPRO, SERVPRO.com. That's where you'll find the team that's faster to any size disaster, thanks to 27 locations across Kentucky. So when fire or water threatens your home or business, call on the Big Green Vans at 1-800-SERVPRO. Go Big Blue, 1-800-SERVPRO. Franchises are independently owned and operated.
Chris Stapleton's Concert for Kentucky, an Outlaw State of Kind benefit, April 25th. The first concert ever at Kroger Field. Chris Stapleton with special guests
On the road again.
Willie Nelson and family,
Just can't wait to get on the road
Sheryl
again.
Crow,
All I wanna do is have some fun.
and Yola. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com.
Been dreaming of a luxurious new mattress? Your dreams are about to come true at the President's Day sale at Sleep Outfitters with 40% off select Sealy mattresses like our exclusive Sealy Outfitters Eurotop or Plush mattress, just $299 for the Queen. You'll also get up to $300 in free gifts. Now through President's Day, get up to $300 on a MasterCard rewards card with any purchase $499 and up. So come find your dream deal during the President's Day sale going on now at Sleep Outfitters.
Battery power made by Steel. From trimmers and mowers to chainsaws and blowers, Steel battery tools are exactly what you need to tackle your to-do list. Whether you need to maintain your yard or completely transform your landscape. Battery power made by Steel. Steel is not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot, always at a local Steel dealer. Real Steel. Find yours at SteelDealers.com. Lowe's and the Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
From the University of Louisville, this is U of L Today.
the Zika, West Nile, and flu viruses, MRSA, and other drug-resistant bacteria, some of the world's biggest killers. They're the targets of researchers at the University of Louisville Center for Predictive Medicine. Matt Lawrence is one of the researchers.
So the CPM is where the majority of the infectious disease research that's going on at U of L. Ultimately, what we hope to do is use what we learn about those diseases to predict or develop new therapies, drugs, vaccines to combat these diseases.
U of L Center is one of 13 secure biocontainment labs in the U.S. U of L faculty are working with federal agencies and drug companies on new vaccines and antibiotics to try and catch up with mosquitoes carrying tropical viruses further north due to climate change and the spread of drug-resistant bacteria.
And these are bacteria that used to be treatable with antibiotics like penicillin, have over time are no longer treatable.
Doing the research to save lives. We are U of L.
Down, set, 8, 1, 1, 8, 1, 1.
The best football teams always get the call right, and you need to make the right call before you excavate. If you don't and you damage a natural gas line, the Kentucky Public Service Commission will investigate, and you could be fined up to $1,250. So make the right call. Put safety first. Call 811 before you dig.
Touchdown! Oh my goodness!
This message brought to you by the Kentucky Public Service Commission.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
Twin Lakes weather!
Chilly but sunny for this afternoon with a high temperature about 45 to 47, so not too bad for this time of the year. Tonight, some increasing clouds will take place overnight tonight with temperatures down to around 30 for a low. Then tomorrow, maybe a flurry, otherwise a colder day. The high temperatures only in the 30s. The Wave 3 News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Brian Good.
Well, I got a woman way over town that's good to me. Oh yeah, say I got a woman way over town, good to me.
Did you know?
Oh yeah.
Nintendo trademarked the phrase, "It's on like Donkey Kong," in 2010.
I like it.
I owe them some coins.
Me too. Right? Yeah, I don't know that I say that one a lot.
My use of that phrase in the 1980s, I'm in no way, even the 90s, even the early 2000s, I owe no money for that because it was not trademarked.
Right.
But for the period after 2010, we might need to come up with some type of
Can you be held responsible
settlement.
if you didn't know they were charging you at that point?
I enjoy pleading ignorance as a defense, but I'm not sure it always works.
It usually works with me.
I mean,
They buy it.
it's my go-to move.
The judge usually buys it when I say that. I'm ignorant.
Well,
completely.
I mean,
we can see
I'm not currently incarcerated, so it must have worked.
Jury duty makes me nervous. I'm afraid they're going to find me guilty.
Here's today, right?
Make you look guilty.
Like it was a setup.
Right.
They lure you there
This is really
to be
all
on the
about
jury
you.
and come to find out you've been indicted. Here's today's water cooler question. Your chance to win. If you've not won in the last 30 days and you're 18 years of age or older, you qualify to win. Coming up this weekend in Louisville, it's the Louisville Kids Indoor Fair. It's the Exposition Center. It is a huge, huge place, and we've got 4 tickets for you, kids or adults, by the way. It's a $40 value. You can take your kids to the indoor fair this weekend, drop them off, and go have a chicken sandwich.
It doesn't say you can't do that on the tickets.
I mean, if you do that, don't tell anyone we told you.
Yeah.
We didn't have anything to do
We
with it.
are not
I'm just
responsible for
saying.
your kids.
I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying I understand if you do.
You see how that worked out at the state fair.
That's right. 270-259-6000. 270-259-6000. A surprising 11% of mothers say they craved this when they were pregnant. A surprising 11% of mothers say they craved this when they were pregnant. 270-259-6000. 270-259-6000. Today's
right?
water cooler question.
I know.
You are not.
I know people who ate both of those things when they were pregnant.
By the way, that indoor fair,
It is weird.
huge carnival rides, zip lines, umizoomi, miniature golf, petting zoo, pony rides. I'll be giving some mini trampoline lessons. The fire-breathing performances of the Kent Family Circus, magic shows, free balloon animals, sports fun with 19 sports, Tot Town for toddlers.
It's
This
130,000 square feet of things for kids to do.
Kids Fair, $40 value. If you can solve today's water cooler question, a surprising 11% of mothers say they craved this when they were pregnant. What is it? Al Pacino's ex serves shade, explaining their split, that he's elderly and didn't like to spend money. Well,
Wait.
I would like to point out to you, you knew he was elderly.
I don't think he withheld his age.
That was
on
not
the
a
first
hidden
date.
fact.
No.
There was, you saw that doggy in the window.
Was there a glare?
Right. Now, as for the frugality of said Pacino, then you might have a case on that. But don't be throwing his age in there, because I see you and I see him, and I think these were two known issues from the jump.
There was a difference. There was an obvious difference.
That is correct. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Demi Lovato says that her struggles with an eating disorder are what led to her slip in sobriety and her overdose. It's she does fluctuate. You can tell what she looked like before her overdose, and then if you've seen her recently on Will and Grace or her performances, she was on the Grammys, and then of course she did the national anthem at the Super Bowl. She has put on what I feel is a healthy amount of weight. I mean, she's not rail thin or anything like that. I think she looks just fine, but you can tell that she looks different. The White House Correspondents' Dinner will have two headliners, Kenan Thompson and Hassan Minhaj, this year. That'll be April 25th at the Washington Hilton. What else to tell you about? Harry Styles held at knife point during a robbery in London. He was unharmed but understandably shaken after a scary incident over the weekend. He was robbed while out in the Hampstead area of London on Friday evening. He was approached by a man with a knife who demanded cash. He said he actually played it pretty cool and gave the assailant cash, keeping himself and the guy calm, and got the situation over with and moved on. So
I
certainly
wonder if the guy knew who he was, or if it was just a random passerby. And it
maybe
just happened to
maybe just a random passerby. I saw a list today. By the way, that question, a surprising 11% of mothers say they craved this when they were pregnant. What is it? I saw a list of the wealthiest singers today.
Okay.
And Herb Alpert.
Who?
Herb Alpert of the Tijuana Brass is listed as the number one wealthiest singer in the world at $850 million.
Who's Tijuana Brass?
I thought, how is this possible? I remember Herb Alpert. My parents had Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass records when I was a kid. Yes, so I know who Herb Alpert is. He also did, he had a number one song called Rise, but it's instrumental stuff, I thought. I didn't know that Herb Alpert could even sing. It's just weird.
It's not Adele. Michael Jackson.
No, and the thing
Beatles.
is, Dolly Parton's like $500 million.
Yeah.
But
I
Herb
get that.
Alpert, $850 million.
Wow.
Let's go to, there we go. Beth, good morning.
Good morning.
11% of mothers say they craved this when they were pregnant.
Is it like laundry detergent?
Laundry
like the fabric
detergent.
softener smell?
I'll give you, it's soap.
Oh.
And what you just mentioned is soap, indeed.
Awesome.
It is soap. Hang on, Beth. Congratulations.
Did they
All right.
Going to get some information from you.
eat it or smell it?
They craved it. I don't know.
Now, I know of people who ate sand and dirt, and their doctor said it was because
Is it the same
there were
person?
minerals. Yep. Yeah, I'll tell you who
Are
it is
their
in the break.
initials MT?
You're close.
Mickey Mouse?
Mickey Mouse!
Oh, I mean,
Did not have a baby.
I mean,
No.
Minnie Mouse. Very, very good. And we're learning that Disney's live-action sequel to Aladdin is going to go ahead. So apparently they like to. I've still not seen the live action,
It's
but
good.
they got going to roll out a sequel to Aladdin live action version. Apparently, got to get to a break. We'll come back, finish it up for the morning. Chart toppers, point to ponder, pearl of wisdom, and more coming up here on In the Know.
Rhonda was shocked by the letter she found one morning in her mailbox. There was no name and no return address, but it hadn't been mailed to her. It had been placed there by a neighbor. The letter accused Rhonda of being lazy and not caring about her home. Part of the letter read, "Your eyesore is affecting the resale value of our homes. Do better." After the do better part, the writer placed 3 stern exclamation points. Rhonda doesn't deny that much of what the letter said was true. She admits that she hadn't taken care of her yard very well and that her house was in disrepair, but not for the reasons the writer assumed. The problem wasn't that Rhonda had no pride or that she was lazy. What the writer didn't know, and never took time to ask about, was how much Rhonda had been going through lately. Her husband got laid off, and her 3-year-old son, who has autism and is nonverbal, had just been diagnosed with cancer. It's sad that a person would so eagerly condemn someone they had never met. But the good news is how others in the community responded. When others heard what happened, they organized a team of volunteers to clean up Rhonda's yard, make repairs to the house, and help her family financially. What's that old saying? You can't understand someone unless you've walked a mile in their shoes. Guess what? It's still true. When you see someone as a problem, rather than judging them, consider that they may need your help instead. For Focus on the Family, I'm Jim Daly.
It's time to shake things up at breakfast with chicken. Sure, you could have the same old, or you could bite into the sweet taste of maple in griddle cakes and a crispy McChicken filet, the Chicken McGriddles, or the McChicken biscuit, a perfectly baked buttermilk biscuit brushed with real butter with the same flavorful chicken filet. Get 2 of the same or 1 of each for $3, and add any size Coke for $1. Prices and participation may vary. Single item at regular price cannot be combined with combo meal.
Hey, for visiting teams, the trip to the home court of the Big Blue usually ends in disaster. But for every disaster that happens off the court or field, call on the Fire, Water, Cleanup, and Restoration Specialists at 1-800-SERVPRO, SERVPRO.com. That's where you'll find the team that's faster to any size disaster, thanks to 27 locations across Kentucky. So when fire or water threatens your home or business, call on the Big Green Vans at 1-800-SERVPRO. Go Big Blue, 1-800-SERVPRO. Franchises are independently owned and operated.
Chris Stapleton's Concert for Kentucky, an Outlaw State of Kind benefit, April 25th. The first concert ever at Kroger Field. Chris Stapleton with special guests.
On the road again.
Willie Nelson and family.
Just can't wait to get on the road
Sheryl
again.
Crow.
All I wanna do is have some fun.
And Yola. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com.
Been dreaming of a luxurious new mattress? Your dreams are about to come true at the President's Day sale at Sleep Outfitters with 40% off select Sealy mattresses like our exclusive Sealy Outfitters Eurotop or Plush mattress, just $299 for the Queen. You'll also get up to $300 in free gifts. Now through President's Day, get up to $300 on a MasterCard rewards card with any purchase $499 and up. So come find your dream deal during the President's Day sale going on now at Sleep Outfitters.
Battery power made by Steel. From trimmers and mowers to chainsaws and blowers, Steel battery tools are exactly what you need to tackle your to-do list. Whether you need to maintain your yard or completely transform your landscape. Battery power made by Steel. Steel is not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot, always at a local Steel dealer. Real Steel. Find yours at SteelDealers.com. Lowe's and the Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
MV's Point to Ponder for today. Don't have time to get too far down the rabbit hole on this issue, but it struck me as odd. I'll tell you how this came about. Should American bald eagles be allowed to be kept in zoos? It strikes me as somehow ironic that the symbol of American freedom would be held in captivity.
Mm-hmm.
So when we were kids, there were almost no bald eagles.
Right.
Right? They were teeter-tottering.
Mhm.
And we as a nation said, we're going to fix that.
Yeah.
And in fact, you couldn't even have a feather.
No.
Right? Unless you were a Native American, you couldn't have a feather.
Yeah.
Because that's how protected they are. And now, luckily, thank God, we have bald eagles, and I don't know that I'll call them plentiful yet, but it's not uncommon to see them. It strikes me as odd that the symbol of American freedom that we would allow to be held in captivity. It's like the one we should agree and go, no, let's not do that.
That's the only one we're not going to put in
That's
a
the
cage.
only one sort of that gets the...
Yeah.
Here's what reminded me of it, is that I saw a Fish and Wildlife officer, a photograph over the weekend, holding one that had flown into a fence and died.
Oh,
and he was holding it, and the wingspan was the width of the officer.
Wow.
Did you see this?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
I did not.
And so it was just amazing. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
They're so majestic and beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's, so I just kind of like, what? If you're a bald eagle, just
Well, but I think there are
be
times
fly and
that
be free.
Just protest your way out of the cage.
there are times that maybe they need to be taken care of, or
Oh, sure, yeah,
doctored
yeah,
back
yeah,
to
yeah,
health,
yeah,
or
but not
something like
housed.
that.
Well,
housed
there's an
there.
organization nearby that helps do
Right.
that.
Yeah.
You know, rehabilitates them and then takes them back
Right.
to the area. And we know of a situation like that in Caneyville recently, which is wonderful. But I mean, just in general, now that there used to be a while that we had to give them sanctuary and keep them in zoos to make sure that the population, didn't go extinct. But now I'm kind of thinking,
We did our job.
be free. I want to be free.
Take the lid off that cage.
On TV tonight, Criminal Minds season 15 and series finale
Oh yeah.
on CBS. On CBS, Survivor. One castaway is out for blood after realizing an ally was sent to the edge of extinction. And then on NBC, the Democratic candidates debate. So season 40, episode 1 was last week of Survivor. 2 hours in length. You didn't seem, Miss Buckles, you didn't seem all that jazzed up about it before we watched it. I was super stoked about it. But after we watched it, have you bought in?
A little bit more. Yeah.
A little bit?
I think for me, when I watch a show, I have to invest in the characters.
Sure. I don't like, by the way, if you've not watched any of it, I don't think I'm going to give you a spoiler. But so you know me, I don't like, basically, the only good thing to come out of Boston was Aerosmith.
Okay.
Cream pie.
No, I won't even go there.
I will.
Except I do like Boston Rob. But Sandra is mad at Boston Rob
I don't like
because
either of
they
them.
were on edge of extinction, and Boston Rob never told Sandra that he was going to be in this Winners at War.
But the thing is, she didn't
She
tell
didn't
him
tell
either.
him, right?
So how can you be mad?
That's exactly. I came to that conclusion over the weekend. I was like, well, why are you mad?
It took you all
'Cause
weekend, huh?
You didn't tell him.
Right.
It's things I ponder when I'm alone. Why is Sandra mad at him?
In the
48
shower.
hours later.
On the toilet.
That's right. All right, here's today's highlight in history. This date in 1945, Operation Detachment began during World War II as some 30,000 U.S. Marines began landing on Iwo Jima. Congress voted to accept Ohio's borders and constitution this date in 1803. Thomas Edison received a patent for an improvement in phonograph or speaking machines this date in 1878. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood premiered to the nation this date in 1968.
Wow.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood is older than PBS.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
he debuted on National Education Television, which became PBS. But he was there. He did that for 31 years as well. And we still have Daniel Tiger today as a result, of course. Bernie Sanders announced a year ago today that he would again seek the Democratic presidential nomination in 2020. Have you seen his poll numbers in Nevada?
Mm-mm.
Really?
What are they?
31%. Bloomberg's got 19%. I'm thinking,
Yeah,
really?
he gets to be
Are
a
you
part of
all
the debate
really-
tonight.
Are you all really going to nominate Bernie Sanders? Really?
It's because they're rocking the vote with the 18 to 25-year-olds.
Really? I say bring it on. Like, if that's what, come on, bring it. Smokey Robinson is 80 today. Jeff Daniels is 65. Lorianne Crook is 63. Roger Goodell is 61. Prince Andrew is 60. Seal is 57. Justine Bateman is 54. And actress Millie Bobby Brown is 16 today. Oh, she's from Stranger Things, right? Let's go to chart toppers. When we get chart toppers, Copernicus, born in 1473. Eddie Arcaro, born in 1916. The only two-time Triple Crown winning jockey. Chart toppers. Dion was number one this date in 1962.
They don't even know my name. They call me the Wanderer. Yeah, the Wanderer. I roam around.
You going to vote for Michael Bloomberg?
No. Is he really picking Hillary Clinton as his running mate?
Bring that too.
Like, I want both of them to win the nomination.
I dare you.
So they can both lose.
I dare, like,
Bloomberg
I dare you to
and
nominate
Sanders.
Bernie, and I dare Bloomberg to bring Hillary. I dare you. Do it.
I hope so.
Dave Edmonds, number one this date in 1971. I hear you knocking. I saw on TV, it looks like that Michael Bloomberg's going to nominate Barack Obama to be his vice president.
Why not?
I mean, they basically were having, like,
I mean, it could happen.
they were hugging it out on TV. You know, it's like,
I would rather him take Michelle Obama than Hillary Clinton as vice
Oh,
president.
goodness
I mean,
gracious.
in all realness, I would rather have Michelle Obama than Hillary Clinton.
well, yeah, I think I need to study that a little more.
I don't think anybody needs to study
Sweet
that.
potato fries. Yeah.
1980. I think we just dissolve the presidency before we give it to Hillary.
I mean, which are you madder about, school lunches or Benghazi? I'm going to go Benghazi.
Well, we ate the school lunches.
I got over my sweet potato fries.
Queen was
I'm not
number
over
one in
Benghazi.
1980. Also in 1989, Tone Loc, Wild Thing. Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On in 98. Justin Timberlake, What Goes Around in 2007. And Justin Bieber and Sorry 4 years ago today. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Experience may be the best teacher, but the bills are terribly high. Experience may be the best teacher, but the bills are terribly high. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Misty Thomas, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powered by Heritage Media of Kentucky. WKHG Litchfield, Kentucky, USA. 104.9 FM. The Twin Lakes Best Mix. K105, your news star.